Hi everyone, I'm Greg Cito, editor for the website auralstates.com, and I'm sitting here today with Nicholas James and Michael Passon of Concrete Profit.
Hi Greg, how are you doing?
Good. So Nick, you want to say a little about yourself today? Tell us about how you came to be with Concrete Profit.
Everyone I talked to, they were like, well, I don't know, these guys, you met them online, so I'm not too sure about that. But I went down to the rehearsal space and I met them and we jammed on a few tunes, and I was just like, okay, I'm getting some good vibes from this. This just might be a good situation.
But you had always gravitated towards heavier music, rock,
Absolutely.
metal.
I've always been a fan of heavy music. I've been listening to Metallica, since I was in 8th grade, and a lot of other good influences. I mean, I love Rush. I love Dream Theater. I had one path. I could be either a rock and roll singer, or I could be an opera singer. And this opportunity came up, and I was like, man, have my cake and eat it too.
How are you finding your experience in Concrete Profit?
I'm really enjoying it right now, and I'm really looking forward to where we could take this project.
So, Michael, from your angle, is he your first and only choice, or were there a series of people?
The minute that we started looking for someone else, that when the right guy came in, we were just going to know. And when we got up with Nick, I went to his website and I listened to the sound samples that were there on the website. And I was thinking, my God, if this guy wants to come out and do the rock thing, then I'm going to have no problem with this.
And you heard this from his opera samples? You heard it in his opera?
Yeah, the samples of him singing on his website. And I heard those and I said, from the still shots that were on his website, I could see that there was a power about him on stage in the way that he carried himself on stage. And from the sound samples, I could hear that he was obviously a talented and a refined voice. So the only thing to find out at that point was what his personality was like, and what he would sound like in the context of what we do.
Could you talk a little about the role of the internet, both good and bad, in the evolution of Concrete Profit and the proliferation of your music?
Sure. Bands that are operating outside of the kind of the pop vernacular, for progressive bands and experimental bands and things like that, to be able to get worldwide distribution for your music without having to go through a label that has any vested interest in returns and ticket sales and poster sales and t-shirts and things like that, it's fantastic. We've always tried to make a commitment to connecting with our fans, and whenever a CD is sold, it tells us who they are and it gives us their email address, and it gives us an opportunity to, gosh, I guess the last CD we sold, I got an email yesterday that we had sold one in Indiana, I guess it was, and we can email the guy and say, hey, we really appreciate your purchase, we'll keep you informed of what we're doing, we really hope you enjoy the disc. And CD Baby's been great for that, for people who want to, and I'm kind of a music nerd when it comes to stuff like that. When a band that I like comes out with a new disc, I want a physical copy of the disc with the liner notes, and I want the DVD that comes with it, I want the whole deal. As far as the negative, the internet gives to people who have not necessarily earned a position of editorial repute an international sounding board.
It's two-parter. Where do you think that leaves the traditional record industry? And would you balk at a traditional record contract?
The record industry as it is right now, I feel like is going to find a way to survive. But I think that the way that it's going to find a way to survive is through attaching itself to the live show. And I think that they're going to find a way to make themselves more involved in their stable of artists touring and the money that comes from that, which is unfortunate for people who are in the stable of artists for a lot of labels, because that's where they get the majority of their money.
Live Nation's a good example of that. Live Nation right now has just signed deals with Madonna, with I think Jay-Z, and that's it's basically an entire package, which they'll be in charge of. The live shows, CDs, distribution, any kind of item associated with that brand is going to be, will be handled by Live Nation or whatnot. Now, as far as whether that's going to be a good idea, I mean, the jury's still out on that. But it's finally, I think it's good that someone finally took the reins and said, okay, you have an artist like Madonna who was with Warner Brothers for 20 plus years and finally said, no, I want to be in control of how my music is delivered.
I think there are a lot of things to be said for a major label contract. And again, the neat thing about the internet is that there are a lot of labels out there. Like the whole major label thing has been redefined anyway right now. So there are a lot of
indie labels that are
exactly.
way more weight than major labels.
So I mean, I look at a label like Roadrunner Records. Roadrunner is a huge label in my opinion now, but they started off as a niche label, and there are a lot of really strong niche labels out there that could offer us a lot as far as promotion, as far as tour support and things like that. So I certainly wouldn't balk at that. At the same time, we've had several conversations about pouring all of our resources into getting a good quality recording, and then just going out there and advertising it, paying for the advertising ourselves, and distributing it digitally. I mean, we've had conversations about having digital release parties and things like that before. So I don't say we balk at a major label contract, but more and more the trend is, do we need one?
Yeah.
But the cool thing is we're finding a lot of venues that are really hip to allowing us to come in and perform our music and gain exposure.
I think from our standpoint, what we do, I mean, we're just trying to go out and put the best show on possible. We're just trying to make the best music possible that we like, that our fans enjoy, and I think it doesn't matter where you play. If it were up to me, we play in a parking lot for all I care. As long as so we have the people there, and we're just creating some good music.
What do you have planned for your future for recording new releases?
Really excited to get back in the studio right now. That's the thing that I think is driving me. I love doing live shows without a doubt, but the thing that is really driving me right now is getting to hear some recordings with Nick and getting some of these tunes fleshed out in recording. So we're hoping to get back in the studio and do that, and release something a little bit more robust than our last EP.
Do you have an ETA on anything yet, or?
I wouldn't. I feel uncomfortable committing to anything more than early '09.
Do you guys have tracks already?
Everything's written. We've got everything written and selected. I mean, we've had an hour and a half worth of live material now for months. And it's the plight of the regional musician that, we've got this music, but the funding is a big thing, and recording quality is a big issue for us. So we're going to wait until we have the funding to go in. We're going to pick the best material from the material that we've got ready to go, and we're going to, at the best quality possible, put our best foot forward.
Absolutely.
I'm Greg Cito from Aural States, and this has been our nice little chat with Nick and Michael, and I hope you all enjoyed it.